Hey, what's up, everyone? Trying to make this quick video, and I know I have to keep making these videos over and over and over again because people miss the videos, so it's kind of redundant a lot of the times, but it is what it is. It's for the people who are just now trying to think about their lawn. You are in the quarantine, you're trying to spend more time at the house, trying to give yourself things to do, and one of the things that you can do is, hey, let's go to your lawn. The Home Depots and Lowe's of the world are considered essential businesses apparently because they're still open. Hey, go in there, grab you some stuff to get your yard together, and some of the stuff you can't get at Lowe's or Home Depot, but I'm going to try to make it as easy as possible. So with that being said, hey, let's get some things understood here. I know everyone wants to go in and grab some fertilizer like this, but this is some fertilizer here, just nothing big as far as name brand concerned, just regular fertilizer. Fertilizer is not the only thing that makes your yard green. And green is what everybody is looking for. Everybody's looking for green. So there are some things that you need to just sit back and kind of do before you get into all of that. First off, in my area, La Bermuda and St. Augustine is just now waking up. So going with a product like this here is a 2905 fertilizer. It's really not going to do too much for you at this moment, especially if you didn't winterize. Reason being is the grass is not fully awakened. And the deal about being fully awakened is this: when you put these nutrients down off into the ground, your grass, it absorbs it. It absorbs the nitrogen and all that. Your soil can hold only so much nutrients. And when you put all this out here and it's not absorbed, guess what? It just runs off. You're really not getting the full effect of it. You're just wasting your money. You're putting this money into this fertilizer, throwing it out on the ground, and you're not going to get anything out of it. That's why I would recommend you go and get a slow release type fertilizer like this. There's a Sunnyland is another one that you can find into the stores. You go in and grab you a slow release fertilizer like this one here. And it also has iron. Lasts up to 3 months. Put this down. This needs to be your first application as your organic fertilizer. And now, after you have that, you can go ahead and grab you a higher nitrogen fertilizer after your lawn has awakened. Those are the first 2 steps you need to do. Secondly, what you need to do is, this is the new game right here. Nobody's really dealing with this. It's kind of new on the scene, on the homeowner scene. This is a humic acid, and you can get this on Amazon. The link is going to be down below. Go ahead and get your humic acid, and what this does is allow your grass, your soil to uptake the nutrients that you're putting down. It'll help your grass utilize this nutrients that you're putting in. It'll make it go further. Less runoff. The runoff that I was telling you about, this right here, will actually boost your soil's holding capacity to hold some of these nutrients that'll make it available for your plant. So that's one of the biggest things that's going on with the new way of doing stuff. It's not all about just fertilizer anymore. Next, I have my favorite product here, and this is basically why I call it my favorite product. This is, most people are just now trying to get it going. They didn't do any weed control or any pre-emergence, got weeds everywhere. And this right here is basically it's a weed and feed, and it's a liquid form, and it's just $1 per square feet. It just really can't be beat. You're going to pay $39 for this. This is a great way to get your lawn started if you have a lot of weeds in them right now. That weed and feed is what I would suggest, putting that down. these items here are a little bit more advanced. You can get these items here. This is not something that you're going to get on Amazon or at Home Depot. It's on the select place to get these, but you can get items similar to these that I'm going to put up a link with some items that are pretty much on par as far as what they do. Maybe not have the same effect, but the liquid aeration and the dethatch and the root growth stimulant you can pretty much get somewhere else. Basically, this pretty much will substitute for the RGS bacteria that you can find this on Amazon. Again, this here is when you're taking it to another level. This is when you don't want to have a ton of growth associated with your fertilization program. I usually use this in the summertime, which will give you that deep dark green. But right now, what we're trying to do is get you started. I know you see this big old bag of sulfur, but this is like going really, really deep into the yard game, which we're going to have to grow there. I have this meter here. I didn't use this meter here for my yard as far as the pH. I did a soil test and I know the pH. I know I threw the word out there, pH. That's a thing in the lawn. You know, these grass like to grow in a certain pH range, and there are some things that you can do to amend the pH. Like I had a really high pH. So one of the things that I needed to do is bring the pH down, and that's what this mental sulfur does for me. It brought my pH down in order for my grass to be in a more friendly climate for it to grow. Now, I know some of you people probably heard of lime, people putting lime in their yard. Well, that's when you're in the opposite of this. When you have your pH is so low and you need to raise your pH, that's where the lime come in. I know some people just think that you can throw lime on your yard and it just grows, but that's not the way it goes here. You're actually trying to amend soil, so you may not need lime, you might need sulfur in my case. But to recap, you're just now starting out, you got a lawn full of weeds right now, and you want to try to get your yard together. It's really early for St. Augustine and Bermuda right now for a lot of fertilizers, so I suggest you get a product like this Iron Night here. Throw it now. If you got a lot of weeds, I suggest go ahead and grab a weed and feed. And if you don't want to grab this weed and feed here, just go ahead, get the weed and feed at Home Depot, because I normally mix a product like this Milorganite with a synthetic product. I usually mix those together, but we're just not there yet. So it's okay to grab some weed and feed. Now, one thing I will have to say, if someone trying to throw seeds out there, Bermuda seeds or some type of anything from seeds, you cannot use a weed and feed. Don't use a weed and feed. And preferably you can skip this and go with a product that has more phosphorus in it. That's where this second number is going to go in at. You want a higher, this second number, you want it high. 22, 23, 18. You can have a low number in the front, which is nitrogen. The phosphorus really helps the grass grow. So basically, that will be noted on the bag as a starter fertilizer. Get your starter fertilizer if you're going to be throwing seeds out. That's what you need, not a weed and feed. You don't need, like this right here has 0 phosphorus in it. It's not really going to help promote those healthy roots. So, in a nutshell, again, go grab you some slow release nitrogen, low nitrogen stuff for your lawn. Grab you some weed and feed. And that's when you can start getting your lawn to go together. Grab you some humic acid. so we can start amending your soil as the season goes.